Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning and we are live again. I hope you'll stick around. I'm seeing people come on. I'm really hoping you'll stick around. We were going to talk today with Rick and Natascha Weedon. Something has happened. I'm not sure what. They may pop back up on our screen, but if they don't, I'm going to talk about something a little differently. So a little different than what we planned, but I think you'll find it interesting, especially if you're an entrepreneur. We are ASMM Digital Small Business Connections. We are the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. I want you to be able to take away something from each and every episode we have, something that you can apply to your business or your life today. That's my goal. And we are changing things as we move along. My original goal was to get my clients in front of people. Then we grew, and now we're into episode 77, which absolutely amazes me because we started this in March. We've done a lot during that time. We have talked to 77 different entrepreneurs. That's a really amazing thing. Today, though, I want to talk about World Peace Day. Today is World Peace Day. And I was thinking about this as I woke up this morning about what that means and why it matters to your business. Yes, the world is crazy. I own a digital marketing company. And so I know social media right now is nuts, especially with RBG dying on Friday, with Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing away on Friday. I think we're all a little terrified of what's happened. Rick and Natascha are here. I'm going to go back to them in just a minute, but I want to say that yes, the world is crazy, but if you can find peace within, your life is going to be so much easier. And I promise you that it's really starts within. So whether you're meditating, whether you're journaling, whether you go to prayer, or whether you're walking and exercising, whatever you're doing, if you can find some peace within, the world will be a better place. And that is especially true for entrepreneurs because we've got so much on our plates. Today, we've got Natascha and Rick. They're here, Natascha and Rick Weedon. They're talking about marriage. And speaking of peace, they're talking about marriage and working together. So let's bring them on. Here you go. Hold on one second. There you go. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Great. How are you?
Hi, Anne. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We've never used this, so we were kind of trying to figure it all out. And apparently it was just one button we had to press to get on there with you. So
well, good. I'm glad you got on. And it's happened before where somebody's completely forgotten that it's Monday. That happened a few weeks ago. So I was like, oh no, did they forget us?
No, we're not. And we're very grateful and thankful that you've asked us to come on your show and, technologically challenged a bit, but we're here.
Yeah. Aren't we all? I think, my poor son, he's 14 years old. He's upstairs doing remote school. And I don't know how these kids are doing it because he's fine with tech most of the time, but there's so many things that just throw you. So it's the world we live in, right?
Yes. And the whole experience of going to school and being with other kids and instead having to sit in your room in front of a computer, it's just, I think it's too stifling really for them.
It really is. It really is. All right. So introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and then we'll move into the Thru Wellness Project.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, okay. So hi, I'm Natascha. So just a little bit about us, our background. Let me start with me. I was actually born in New Delhi, India, and came over when I was 7 and grew up here in the kind of Montgomery County area. And, just always been kind of the entrepreneurial spirit kind of person, and went to school and everything, and then just kind of led into the way of travel, and then kind of, here and in the entrepreneur world. And Rick and I met 10 years ago, but I'm going to let you say a little bit, and then we'll kind of pull it together.
Thanks, baby. My name is Rick Weedon, born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area. Did my education here. I'm a Towson University grad and Howard University Law School grad, and lived in the city in this area for most of my life. And most of my personal and professional life has been in this area, working in both corporate, nonprofit. I'm like the Lombard Street of San Francisco. I've had a lot of different and twists in my career. And now we find ourselves entrepreneurs, and Tasha's going to continue our story.
So we, just to tell you a little bit about Wealth Through Wellness, we are an innovative, unique kind of platform where we use wellness solutions, partnering with a global leader called Isogenics. And we build communities of people together using wellness as a way to make money. And it's just been a blessing for us. It's been a blessing for so many, and we are just very passionate about it. So, it's also it's a great thing for people who, are very busy in their lives, are looking for, maybe have a little bit too much month at the end of the money,
Right.
are looking for something on, to have alongside. Right now, of course, the thing is to be more secure and have, more than one income stream. So this is a really great way where you're not trading your time for it, but you're really, basically, we show people how to be healthy and how to get paid for what they eat for breakfast. So,
and I sum it up as it's the 21st century way of creating health and well-being while getting paid through an online, superfood store of nutrition that everyone has access to who's a part of our community. And that's kind of the beauty of what we do. In our story, how we met, just to kind of go back to that, about 10 years ago, we met. I was in corporate America and she was an entrepreneur. And I was actually a little bit after that going through a lot of health crisis. I'm 6'3". I was about 270 almost at the time, and which was really a bad place to be. And all the medications, doctors wanted to kind of talk to me about, the next steps of pharmaceutical routes to go. And being an athlete also in high school, collegiately, and also semi-pro basketball a little bit, thought, no, that's not what I want to do. And we were introduced to the Isogenics company and Isogenics International. And I went through an incredible transformation in 8 weeks, releasing like 43 pounds, all biomarkers reversed. And Tasha and I just kind of have been partnered with them for 7 years now, and just don't want to ever turn back.
Well, and I love that when you talk about it that way, because I think so many people say to me, "Oh, I want to do something like what you do. I want to start a business. How do I pick?" And there are things you should be doing. So you've got some tips there. What are some of the key points people need to look for when they're looking for a business?
So I'll start off. The key tip for me is, first of all, find something you're really, really passionate about. Find something you have a burning desire that's going to get you out of bed to do that. And, and be able to monetize that. So the first thing is really find those areas that you're really, really passionate and have a burning desire to pursue. And I'll kind of illustrate that with us is, in our industry, we have a lot of leaders, mentors, and so forth who talk to us. And one of the things that one of them have said, or we've heard, is, you get to wake up with your best friend every day. I get to wake up with my best friend, the love of my life, my wife. We get to do what we want, when we want, with who we want, whenever we want, and money and time not being an issue. So that's the motivation for us to pursue that. But for entrepreneurs in general, so I've studied Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with, or your listeners are, but he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A lot of people have heard of that book, which has been I think it's 20 years now as a bestseller. But he also wrote something called the cash flow quadrant, which essentially outlines how we derive income from 4 different quadrants. One is an employee, which gives you not a lot of power and not a lot of flexibility, and obviously not a lot of time. The second quadrant is the small business or self-employed, which has its rewards, and that's what he thinks people should migrate to out of the employee status. And again, that's where the entrepreneurial mindset occurs. And then there's also the big business on the other side of the quadrant, or 500 people or more, employees or more people, and then the investor part of the quadrant. So Kiyosaki's philosophy is you derive income either as an employee, as a small business owner, as a big business owner, or as a investor. And his philosophy, which I believe in, which we've been training on, is that no matter where you are in the quadrant, you should move towards that entrepreneurial spirited way of small business, big business, or investor. And obviously the investor, Warren Buffett says, if you're not making money while you're sleeping, you're going to work till you die. So
Right.
we show people how, you know, getting to, even if you have one foot on one side of the employee side, which is great. We're not, you know, passing judgment on anybody who's an employee. However, think about, because so many people are thinking about, in this climate during coronavirus and the economy, how can I derive and create more income streams for myself? And we teach on moving to that self-employed, having a foot there, and also having a foot in one of the other sides, either the business, big business side, or the investor side, which we're on the B side of the quadrant and the I side of the quadrant, and just trying to bolster that up. And I'll leave it with, you know, that burning desire is so important, and that passion is so important, but you got to be committed to. You got to do the daily do and be willing to do the activities, because you got to pay a price. You're going to pay a price either working for someone else, or you're going to pay a price as an entrepreneur. And I think the price is better and the risk is better as an entrepreneur when you put that time in. Babe, you want to?
Yeah, so just to add a little bit onto that, absolutely echo everything Rick's saying, but I think I definitely agree with him with the passion of it, like having that real burning desire. And, you know, for me, it just breaks my heart to see people who are doing things that are, you know, just feel like they have to do them, or
Right.
they're stuck in something, and they, you know, you hear all the Monday mornings blues, and, you know, they're on this cogwheel. And I just want to, you know, say there is a better way, and there is a way to be more collaborative and community oriented and be able to do that. And, you know, we do have a passion for what we're doing, because, you know, we went on this journey where Rick's health was failing. So like it completely changed our family. It changed his health, our family life, you know, our children are benefiting from it. So it's become a very part of our lives. And then when we can share that and we can change people, not, you know, help them make a change either physically or financially through this vehicle, it's just so amazing. And just also being able to do things that are not, you know, you go to a job, you trade your time for money, it's like that linear income and all, but here being able collaboratively, you know, leveraging off of one another, you know, someone will be paid for 8 hours a day going to a job, but with us, it's like you're getting paid for the hours you work, but then there's 10 other people doing the same thing, and everybody's being paid on everybody's efforts. So leverage is kind of huge. And just, you know, yeah. And then, you know, timing and trends and the emerging markets, you know, just baby boomers, just the areas. We're in health and wellness, and we're in wealth, and health and wealth are really the two things. You know, you can't have anything without your health, right? And especially,
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to be, you know, on top of things with your immune system. And with wealth, I mean, you know, money isn't everything, but it's up there with oxygen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm reading a new book. It's actually, I don't think it's a new book, but it's a book by Charles Schultz, who owns or started Starbucks, right? Mm-hmm. And he talks about that. He's like, you know, we can talk about money not buying happiness, and that's, you know, that's true. But also, a lot of problems happen because we don't have money. You know, and I was just reading this morning that we're over in Chevy Chase, in the Chevy Chase area, but that Chevy Chase Bethesda, they opened a food bank at a local church, and they had all these meals ready, all these things ready, and it was completely overrun. And they were surprised, because we live in an area that people say, oh, well, people there are fine. Well, when people don't have money, they don't have food, they can't pay their rent, they can't pay their heat and electric and all that. So money does matter, and maybe not solve everything, but it does solve a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's not about money bringing happiness per se, but money certainly brings choices and certainly brings some freedom. And, you know, of course, for just what people need day to day. And I think we've been brought up with different kind of things about money, where, you know, money is the root of all evil, and money grow on trees, and, you know, all that.
Right.
Stuff. But really, to put it in a place where you're coming with it with a sense of purpose and uplifting and collaboration, it gives it it becomes a tool.
And I would add that statistically, $300 to $500 extra a month will help people, and it's been proven will help them, with health issues, bankruptcy issues, marriages. Just that extra income helps to keep families together, as opposed to, part of us being married is some of the challenges of being married is dealing with the finances of the household. So that when you can kind of address that in a way that, can help that area, then you're winning not only with money, but you're winning in so many other ways of keeping your families intact and keeping everyone healthy. A happy wife is a happy life.
Right. Exactly. Well, let's talk about this. So you two, you've been together for 10 years, but you just got married a year ago, right?
We did. Correct. Thank you. We did.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Like, are you just going to do this, or are you going to set an example for us, or what?
Well, I'm awfully glad you got married, but let's talk about that. You're working together, you're living together, everything you do is together. How are you handling this as a couple? What are some of the tips you have for other people for handling this as a couple? Because you get tired. And one of the things I keep hearing is there are more divorces now than ever because people are having to spend so much time together. But you guys are choosing to spend so much time together.
Yeah, I think it's part of it is, in working, it's understanding, trying to play to our strengths and minimizing our weaknesses. Tasha's amazing. When I first met her, and I said that she lights up a room. She's the light of the place. And if she shutters that light, then she's, not allowing others to see. So, her presence, her ability to connect with people, her genuine love and sincerity and empathy for people is something that I have, but it's more dormant in me than her. I happen to be more of the pragmatic, practical coach and logical kind of linear thinking that way. So I think we've learned and are learning, because it's a learning process. Growth is, hopefully we continue to grow as a couple and in business until our last breaths, because it's a continuous journey. No one ever arrives anywhere, I don't believe. So, we work on, playing to those strengths, playing to and working on our own weaknesses that we do have, but letting our strengths really, really preside. So we will offload work that way to, if Tasha really needs to connect, or we need to connect with someone and someone really needs that, that personable touch and that care. She's obviously the one. If someone needs like a coaching tip or some information detailed about product or things like that, then I'm the person that we call on. So
yeah, I think really that's it. We're very passionate both about dream, our mission, our family, our life, and then we're passionate people and we're fiery. So
right.
We definitely have made transitions through this past 10 years of, there was a time we did a lot of our meetings and presentations together. And now it's more like, no, we need to divide and conquer this. And plus we're both very strong natures. So sometimes it's like, okay, I don't want you in this meeting because I've got this,
Right.
Or, we have different things we want to say, and yet we're both saying the same thing overall. So Rick is right. He's very pragmatic. He's more, technical, like he's the lawyer, he's the analytical, he can be skeptical. He's the researcher and all. I'm like more like kind of, my passion leads it all. I love to cast visions for people and, really spend a lot of time sharing what this gift can bring them. Freedom, no overheads, no bosses, all the kind of
right
involved in the team building and vision casting for people, being in a positive environment. A lot of people have come from corporate America, which at times can be, a hard place to come from. It's kind of a dog eat dog and more aggressive.
Right.
And we're more of, kumbaya, like we rise by lifting others, we only do well when we help the other one come up, even
right.
field. So there's all sorts of those kind of nurturing approaches that I think I do, and Rick kind of handles the things that I don't want to do. I don't want to, he sees a great video on how a certain something is working, and I'm like, great, send it to me and I'll watch it, but he finds all that good stuff,
Right.
So
we do all that. I think we do all that though because we want to have an impact.
Yes.
I mean, we really want. We know that what we do and who we work with and the community we're creating is important to us. It's everything to us. And we really, I think all entrepreneurs really they should want to have an impact in people's lives or the products or services that they offer. And that's kind of the crux of what it's all about. So we try to, as much as possible, obviously look out for other people as opposed to ourselves. I mean, we look, in our families, we all want to take care of our children. We have 3 kids together. We're blended family. So it's all about impacting people in a positive way is kind of the way we look at it, and doing it in a way that is serving others and being of service. So in trying to deal with that within ourselves at times, and sometimes, it can be a little challenging.
Yeah. We're married. We're all married.
Right.
So, and I mean, hopefully people are going to see this everywhere, but we wouldn't be honest if we weren't saying, of course, we have our moments, like couples have their moments, and
right.
We have different approaches on how we handle that as well. I'm more of the, let's get it over with and move on and talk it all out, and everything will be happy in a minute. And it takes a little bit more of a minute for him, and he needs to.
Wait a minute, are we on a couch here? We're on a couch, right?
But I think, I think you've said a couple of things here. One is, having that passion, but also knowing where you're going as a couple, and saying, hey, this is our goal. If one of you was like, I'm doing this to put money in my pocket, and the other is I'm doing this because I care about people, those two things can clash if you don't do it correctly, right? So that was one thing I took from what you just said. The other thing is knowing each other's strengths, not just knowing the other's strength, but understanding where your strength comes in. And I think that is key to any marriage, but especially if you're going to be working together this closely.
Absolutely. And you're right. You hit it on the head. Goals are very important, and we're driven by our goals and others' goals. So that's very vital, and we try to keep that as our North Star.
And we've also just been very blessed to have support. Like we've had, family support, dear friends, colleagues, and other couples who are doing things and business together, our mentors, and even in our company. And we've got some great examples and we're still learning. Like, I just feel like you never stop learning. So, we're still going, and there are good days and bad days. I believe Mars is in retrograde right now. So we're trying to, just kind of be gentle around each other and stuff. But I think honesty obviously is always the key. Like, we always try to be really, but also just really respectful of where the other person is, and not have sometimes I want to pull Rick into everything, this, that, and he's like, baby, just handle it, and I'm learning to kind of more do that, because it gives him a place to kind of be in a better space. And we really do have to figure out what's working where. And we do tend to be, we love what we do. So we're very passionate about it. So we want to talk about it. And so we have to kind of,
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here thinking about what you're saying, the whole thing. And so for me, at the end of the day, I say this a lot. 6:30 in the evening, I sit here at my desk and I want to bang my head into the desk. And I know that if I say to my husband, this is what's happening, he wants to try to fix it, but at the same time, he doesn't necessarily get where we are, right? He doesn't see, because he's not involved in my business. So he doesn't understand it. So I have had to reach out to other people who are actually, most of them are my clients who also own businesses. And we together talk through, oh my God, this is really a lonely space. Mm-hmm. But you guys have each other. And so that is a huge plus about this.
Okay. Yeah, we do. That's a good thing. And it can be a little challenging because like you just said, you know, you're in a place and all. He does know where I am, but I still may not need that solution. Like I just
Right.
need to hear it. So
Yes.
sometimes we will,
There may be some gender kind of specific things that happen. Unfortunately, you know, men are, you know, kind of, we're the fixers, or, you know, known as the fixers.
Yeah.
Women, you know, the women keep the family together and are the rock, the bedrock of the family often. But yeah, it's so true. And we also do that as well. And I have to talk to individuals and sometimes men who are in business. Sometimes she can speak to women who are in business, because there are different languages and different kind of feelings and that come about during the course of a day, of a work day, that I may not understand and she may not understand mine. You know,
Right.
I'm an avid walker and exerciser because I need that time just to rejuvenate, to keep myself going. And she meditates and does a lot of meditation, quiet times for herself. So it's just ways that we can recharge our batteries so we can be ready for each other and our business.
But Anne, you know, most of all, as you're talking about an approach, I think we've evolved also because, you know, we've been together 10 years. We've been affiliated with Isagenix as a partnership for 7 years. But Wealth Through Wellness is our baby. And that's what we created. And it was to kind of take stigmas away and skepticism and have a kind of a family tribal kind of feeling to bring people into, to help them, you know, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. We are teamed up with such amazing people in, you know, coaches and things like that, that are within our Wealth Through Wellness sphere that we're so blessed to have there. And we want it to be the safe space. So our great approaches, you know, back in the day when we started, I mean, you know, they were wonderful. It's always been a great company and wonderful products, wonderful results. So, you know, you'd sign up anyone with a pulse and a credit card, you know.
Right.
Right now, our approach is so in another space of just really looking for people who have their hands up, who really have a burning desire to live in a better body and out of a bigger bank account, as one of our mentors would say.
Right.
And the people who really we would be, you know, grateful to have around our dining table, you know?
Yes.
I think.
Well, that matters so much. And it's something that when you start a business, you don't realize that it matters who you're working with. It matters.
Absolutely.
You know, and that you like them and that they get along. And I will say that to people. I'm like, we're gonna start our business. We'll do 3 months and then we'll reassess, because it may be that we just don't work together. It may be that
it's a blessing at times. I mean, it really is. I think for both parties, if you know, like you said, if you have a client who after that 3-month period, you guys realize it doesn't work, it's better to kind of say, okay, let's dissolve this, but still remain either friends or acquaintances, or, you know, mutually agreed upon terms. Because I agree that it's not always. There's too much energy that you have to expand as an entrepreneur. If you're focused, if you have a goal and a mission and you're driven by those, then you gotta, you know, sometimes, and it's not out of, you know, Tasha's so loving. So one of the things that does concern us is like getting down on things that you can't control.
Right.
So, but, you know, over time, we've come to find that it's better if we can kind of work with individuals and with each other in a way that is nurturing, is empathetic, that we're all in together. And I think I may have left that out as an entrepreneur. You know, you want to have both feet in. You know, you want to have both feet in, not just one foot in. And you know, you can test it. Obviously, testing is fine. But once you make that decision, you got to just jump in. And that's kind of how we go about stuff.
Absolutely. That's a huge thing for me. You know, people who say, I'm gonna sort of try it. I'm like, no. You got it. You can't, it's gonna fail.
Right.
It's like sort of trying to train for a marathon.
Oh,
yeah. You can't sort of try that. Exactly. So yeah. All right, we're running short on time, but I want to talk about something that you guys have created that I think is pretty amazing. You've created C4 networking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'd love you to talk about that, because I believe that the best way to be an entrepreneur is by building relationships. And the best way to be successful is by building relationships. So talk a little bit about C4 networking.
Well, I'm going to start here really quickly by saying that the way Tasha and I met was through networking.
Yes.
So I found my friend and wife through networking. So, this is the power of networking. I was working a part of a startup at the time, and we hosted a lot of on-site
events,
physical networking events, not Zoom networking like we do now, but actually physically attended events. And we happened to be, I think, in the DC City Club of DC, and had a big networking event that I was producing and putting forth. And Tasha met one of my partners at the time, who invited her. And because we were a new startup and we were trying to grow this company, I was spamming everybody. I spammed them 3 times a week. And as this is 5,000 people, I'm spamming 3 times a week to come to our events. She showed up. Obviously, we respected each other. We were so enamored with our passions for life and our passions and commitment for business and for success for ourselves and our families, that it grew into a professional relationship that grew into a personal, loving, and now she's my wife, which I'm so proud and happy for.
I love that.
Yes, so networking has been a part of us. And I love, Anne, that you said it's all about building relationships, because it really is. And it's such a great segue, because I was actually going to mention C4 right before you brought it up. But yes, so our whole relationship it's been about networking events. And I believe they work on all levels of building relationships. As you can see, I'm sitting proof of that. But, I've been networking I've been in networking and direct sales in that industry and all for about 16 years now. And so I've been to all sorts of networking, and they are all good. They're all good for their own things. A lot of the quick, saying your quick thing and passing business cards, and everything has its place. And now, of course, we're more on Zoom and everything. But about 3 years ago, I was part of another networking group that was there, but it was dissolving. And, we didn't know where to take it, but we had all these it was a women's group at the time. We had all these wonderful women sitting in the room. And I said, this isn't rocket science. We know what we're doing. Let's think of what we want out of this group. And we just started saying words out: connect, collaborate, contribute, celebrate. These are the things we want to do, and in building these relationships. So that's where C4 was born. It's the 4 C's: connect, collaborate, contribute, celebrate. And of course, C4 is a bomb, so we call it an explosive networking experience.
That's awesome.
But it's about building relationships. It's really about learning who the people are, because I do believe you do business with the person and not the business. Like, you really connect with the person. And like you were saying earlier with our approach, this is definitely part of our approach, because, we all have something, and people come and they work with you. It may or may not work out. People come work with us. But what I like to say to people is, we have a solution. Okay. Wealth and wellness is definitely a solution. It may not be your solution, but if it is, great. We're here to support you, walk with you, rise you. If it is not, I will help you find that solution. And that's where C4 networking comes in. I am so blessed to be able to do that. We do it on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month from 12 to 1:30 on Zoom. Everyone is invited. We're now going kind of around the country, because we're on Zoom and we're going global.
That is amazing.
And it's just a place to come together and share and see how we can do things, and, just build a community a little bit more. We're actually just launching a new thing, which is also a part of Wealth Through Wellness, because we have the health side of getting people. We've got our 11-day whole body resets, getting people ready. But we're also starting Global Kitchen for people who love to eat and
that's great.
Want to be, doing that. So there's a lot of so many exciting things happening, and we just always welcome people into the Wealth Through Wellness and the C4, family communities that we are. So yeah.
Well, and I love the networking event. I think it is really, really helpful. One thing that I noticed when I first started networking is that people were like, oh, that's where you go and you just try to pitch yourself. And I was like, wait a second, if you think of it that way, then it becomes this icky thing, right? I'm just going out and I'm just going to try to sell. But if you go into it and really change your mindset, I'm going to go, and my goal tonight is to introduce at least 2 people. So I walk into a room and I'll say, oh, there's Natascha. Oh, she should meet Jerron. And I start making those connections. And eventually something comes back to me in a good way. But I'm not there to sell my product. I'm there to help build relationships between other people, because then they'll do the same thing for me and I will meet new people and we will have new relationships. And I think when you see networking as a way of giving back to your community, it goes so far. So I think it's great what you're doing.
So I just want to, C4 is really, I've helped, but this is Tasha's baby. And I just want to echo exactly what you said. So many people that I've talked to who participated physically when we did a physical location at a local restaurant here in downtown Silver Spring and happy hours. But here and on Zoom is that 2 things happen. One is, Tascha, you got to do more to plug yourself because she's so giving and wanting to connect people and wanting to do so much more for other people. And the second thing is that it's a unique kind of experience that people have at C4 because it is so relational. It's not about pitching. It's really about cultivating relationships so that at the end of the day, if those people do connect and there is opportunities, then there will be business transacted, or at least it'll lead to something perhaps, but it's all relationship driven. And I just love that about C4 and what Tasha's created with that baby, because so many people come away from that group and that experience like, wow, I got to come back. This is great. And inviting others to it.
Absolutely.
And about, you do things as, if you help people get what they want, you get what you want. I mean, I really am a complete believer of that. So I love that you said that.
Yeah, it's so true. It really is. And it's been that way my whole life. I have found that if you give, things will come back to you if you live your life that way. So, all right. So how are people going to find you? Tell me how they can find you.
So wealththroughwellness.com is there. We are on,
Wealth Through Wellness, though it's spelled wealth, THRU wellness, all one word. Also, you can find us if you want to email us. It's wealththroughwellness7, the number 7 at gmail.com. You can also find us, obviously, at c4networking.com.
Yes.
You can find us on Facebook through Wealth Through Wellness. We have a Wealth Through Wellness page. Again, Wealth, THRU Wellness Project.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We also, Rick Weedon, Natascha Weedon on Facebook.
LinkedIn.
We're all over.
So you're doing it all completely right. I really love that you're doing it all completely right.
Here's our philosophy. Our philosophy is, and we've learned this again from other mentors, is done is better than perfect.
Yes.
So as an entrepreneur, if I leave anybody with an entrepreneurial who's really, don't worry about being perfectionist. Don't worry. You're gonna fail. You're gonna bump your head. You're gonna scuff your knees. Just get back up, because done is better than perfect, and try again.
And we can just get better every day. I mean, Anne, I was the face-to-face, belly-to-belly person before COVID. So, I mean, this has been a huge adjustment, and I'm still trying to get myself on video and things like that. So this is a big move for me today. This is a big growth moment. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm so glad you've come on. So I want you guys to hang around for a minute. I've got to go through my last bits here, and I'm going to be right back. So stick around.
Sounds great.
All right. Okay, guys, let's talk about what's going on next. On Wednesday, we have Christine Hunt coming on. She's going to talk about getting past the things in your past, right? Leaving those things behind, moving forward. That's one of the things we're going to talk about on Wednesday. I want to remind you to subscribe. We didn't go through this today when we started, but we are on Facebook. We are on YouTube, and we're on Twitter. After the show, we pulled audio from this and it goes up in podcasts everywhere. And we just found out that it's actually on Amazon Music. We just made it onto Amazon Music. But anywhere you're listening to podcasts, please do subscribe to the show. That helps us out a lot. We're a small business running a podcast that we hope to have grow and become a big business, become a big podcast that helps hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people around the world. That's what our goal is. So please do subscribe. That will help us a lot. And I just want to remind you that if you need help with your digital marketing right now, ASMM Digital is our biggest advertiser because that's what I own. So please do reach out to ASMM Digital and we can help you with your digital marketing. I want to go back real quick to Rick and Natascha. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This has been wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're very, very grateful. And again, humbled that you kind of asked us and thought of us to come on.
Thank you so much.
Very grateful. Thank you so much.
Well, it amazes me to the idea that you can work together and grow this business the way you have. It's been inspirational to watch. So thank you. All right, guys, you guys stick around. Everybody else, we will see you on Wednesday. And I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.